Let's get it. This is Life's Essential Ingredients with Jeff and a Mike, where we hope to inform, inspire, and transform lives, one essential ingredient at a time. Welcome to the show. Pasho, we're back, baby. We are back, and man, am I excited for today. I get hyped every day, Dr. Marissa, but I'm in researching you. I'm even so much more fired up. So listeners tuning in from 20 countries. I know Dr. Marissa's got people tuning into her show from over 100 countries, and we're going to get into that. But we're excited with our 20. But put on your seatbelt. Grab something good and cold to drink because it's hot where I am, and then take out a notebook as well, because Dr. Marissa is going to be dropping some knowledge. So our guest today, Dr. Marissa Pei, coming to us from Los Angeles, where you can find her. Go to www.drmarissa, and it's MARISSA.life is one of the places. Her Instagram is at Doc Balance, DOCBALANCE, and Twitter is at Dr. Marissa Pei, and it's PEI. So hopefully we got all those. So a little bit about our guest. Dr. Marissa is an inspirational speaker, TV commentator, on-air personality, consulting psychologist, author, life balance coach, singer. Hopefully she's going to bring some of that, songwriter, and global thought leader. Her popular syndicated talk show, Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It, Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, syndicated on CNBC News Radio, KCAA AM 1050 and FM 106.3, and now on iHeartRadio. Her popularity is evidenced by over 500,000 downloads, 180 regular listeners tuning in from over 100 countries. Originally dubbed the kinder, gentler Dr. Laura, she is now known as the Asian Oprah. Dr. Marissa has won countless awards, including the 2014 Asian Heritage Award, 2014 Lotus Business Person of the Year Award, 2012 Asian Entrepreneur of the Year Award. And Pasho, I could go on and on, but we ain't got enough time, baby. We got work to do, and we got to have Dr. Marissa drop some knowledge on us. So Dr. Marissa uses her Ph.D. in organizational psychology to help individuals, groups, and organizations deal with human tendencies like power, politics, miscommunication, and conflict. Dr. Marissa also recently authored 8 Ways to Happiness and is aspiring to help 8 million people get 88%, is it happy or happier, in the next 8 years? And we're going to explore that a whole bunch. I could go on and on with your everything that you've done, but I'm going to just stop right there. Dr. Marissa, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. And I'm going to bring you wherever I go, because that introduction pretty much, I really don't need to talk anymore because it's all there. Thank you so much for all the kind words that my PR people wrote. But thank you anyways. You did a great job in highlighting all of the things that I love to do. And I'm so grateful that I have a new set of eyes and ears that is probably wondering if all of that is true or not, and why the heck she uses the number 8 all the time. So thank you for inviting me. I got a chance to hear what you're doing. I think it's fabulous. I do love all the people around the world who are doing things with their lives that are meaningful and bringing meaning, and certainly essential is the key word. And I'm glad to be part of this.
Man, this is going to be good. All right. So Dr. Marissa, we always start with a thought of the day. And this is one of my favorite ones. You know, C4 Leaders does leadership development, obviously. So this is a leadership quote, because in you, that's what you do. You're leading and helping people find happiness through all the different ways that you do that. But this is from your good friend, Oprah. And here we go. Leadership is about empathy. It is about having the ability to relate to and connect with people for the purpose of inspiring and empowering their lives. What are your thoughts on that?
So first of all, anybody who might be criticizing me for calling myself Asian Oprah, I just want to set the record straight that I was actually introduced to her as the Asian Oprah by Michael Bernard Beckwith, who's one of her friends. And so I did not come by that on my own. So just if I sound a little defensive, I am. No, I just want to set it straight. I am honored to have that as an honorable moniker because I believe that she really brought this whole level of human kindness to network TV. I think she was the one who originally started talking about, who are we and what do we want and what's important in life. So kudos to her. I love the quote. I absolutely agree with it, of course. And I'm not just saying that because I'm the Asian Oprah. I agree with it because I think people have this idea from the old days of leadership is someone who's able to just get up there and, yell at you and scare you and motivate you through force and precision and direct. And, if you don't like it, there's the door. And that whole thing around leadership has really, thank goodness, come a whole 180 degrees. We have things like servant leadership now. We have many leadership models that speaks to, and the word I'm going to focus in on in that whole quote of the day is connection. So everyone is a great leader, and it doesn't matter what your position is, you are an either informal or formal leader by your ability to connect with who you are with. So this can be a leader with 2 people or a leader with thousands of people. And when you are empathetic, it means that I don't necessarily understand. And let's qualify that. Some people think empathy means I know how you feel. And if you're someone who goes around walking around saying, I know how you feel, I guarantee you're probably pissing off at least half of the people because it triggers, how do you know how I feel? You have no forking clue how I felt growing up with that kind of trauma. You have no forking clue how it feels like to be a Black man. You have no clue. So empathy is not about knowing how someone else feels, and certainly not asserting that or imagining that. Empathy is about the willingness to consider that someone else's experience is just as important as yours. That's a Dr. Marissa definition of empathy. That is not in the dictionary. But I have found that if you really want to connect with people, don't assume that you understand anything about them, because you don't. And even identical twins do not understand. But it is my ability to convince you that I care enough to want to understand you. That is what makes a good leader. That is what connects you. How's that?
Pasha, she's already dropping that Ph.D. and then she says, how's that? She dropped the mic on us and it's like, hey, come on. You already know you can get down, Dr. Marissa. Come on now.
Wow, that was so deep. Wow.
You like that? Yeah. I have not even done a talk on that, but I think I might have to. Whoa. Because it kind of connects, and you guys know this, the whole idea of IQ and EQ now, emotional quotient of intelligence, is finally getting some traction, because as an executive coach, you'd be surprised. I get called in to C-level suite leaders who I have to sit down and convince them not to scream at the top of their lungs, slam doors, and spit on people. Now that sounds like stupid, but that's where we came from. That's what leadership was allowed to do, and grab butts and pack butts and look on cleavage and all of that. Thank God that is the old way of leadership. All of that is now being called on the carpet and into jail. Epstein, Weinstein, Cuomo, all of that, right? Bill Cosby, at least, thank God, that pendulum has gone from that was acceptable. And now, yeah, we are seeing maybe a little overswing, but in all change, if you just aim for the balance, you're not going to get it. It balances somewhere in the middle. So we have to swing that pendulum way to the other side so that it can settle in the middle. So if you're uncomfortable, I couldn't believe it. I actually heard this woman in the supermarket line saying, that's such a shame about Governor Cuomo. And I'm like, thinking she's going to say, well, and she said, after all the great things he did, he's being taken down by something that was just, it was okay then. I was like, whoa. So this is where that's average, right? That is, I'm glad to see you're shaking your heads, but we have to recognize that this is a process that we're going through, America. This is not a light switch. We are coming from an age and an era where racism was number one. That was just a matter of how we do business. Discrimination is just how we do business. The denigration of women was just the way that we did business. So it's a process. It's uncomfortable. We are moving. We overshoot sometimes, but we're okay. We're gonna make it through. And as Esther Hicks says in the Law of Attraction, we're never gonna get it wrong, and we're never gonna get it done. Life is expansion. Life is growth. Life is breaking down, building up, breaking down, building up. Fire, I know it's a little sensitive right now, but alchemy, that's what it is. Through the fire, we become anew. That's life. That is the fundamental law of life. And so how can we be okay? I just did a show, it's coming on tomorrow, 20 years after 9/11. How can we actually feel like life is okay and good when we remember how horrific that was? How can we feel that life is okay when we're still going through this thing called a pandemic that has just wiped us sideways? So much loss, so much negative impact. So how can we still love life? And that's my mission. I'm here to tell you that you can still love life. It's called #unconditional happiness. It's remembering who you are, why you're here. We are here to fully express life as our one-of-a-kind, unique, no throwbacks in the bunch, one-of-a-kind, wonderful us. That's what we're here for. So that starts here, and not, oh, who likes me? Who thinks I'm great? And who will love me for who I am? And who will get me? Nobody. I'm sorry. No one's going to get you exactly the way you are. There's a little bit of give and take. I have to do an aside here, and interrupt me. I can go on for 2 days. I'm a motivational speaker. So I always find it really interesting how we say all the time, I wish I could find someone who just gets me. Why can't why can't people, why can't I find someone who loves me just the way I am? And then we turn around and complain about the way other people are. Mm-hmm. Isn't that interesting? You cannot have your cake and eat it too on that level. You cannot want someone to get you and love and appreciate you the way you are when you can't do that for other people. How does that work? You know, that's why I am always, how do you, people ask me all the time, so what's the number one? They don't want to go through 8 ways to happiness. What's the number one fastest route to happiness? Are you ready? You got the mic ready?
I'm right. And I've been taking so many notes.
The buck stops right over here.
Yep.
If you can like yourself 88% of the time, then you will be happy. But if you're a person that says, I am my own worst critic, I'm not harder on anybody else than I am. When I get 99 compliments and 1 criticism, my mind goes to the criticism. I don't expect any more from you than I expect from me. If you're one of those people, you will not get to happiness. Sorry, not possible, because that self-critic, that angry, self-accusing, self-sabotaging, you piece of shiitake, you're never going to amount to much, you really aren't all that. All of that many of us were raised with that message given to us, no thanks to our parents or our teachers or somebody down the line gave us that message. You didn't deserve it when you were a kid. Then none of that was your fault. But if you continue to drag all of that BS belief system that isn't true and keep slamming yourself in the head with it, that's you. That's on you, boo. That's your fault. Mm-hmm. So you can make the choice to continue the rest of your life being justifiably indignant and angry at all the bad stuff that happened to you. And by the way, don't feel special. You're the majority. 7 out of 10 of us had childhood trauma. My honorable moniker, Oprah, says 8 out of 10. Some psychologists say it's as high as 93%. So if we're the majority, you can't feel sorry for yourself. We're the majority. But if we're the majority, why do we feel like we're not ever going to get it or be good enough, or we're never going to succeed because we were behind the 8 ball? There's no 8 ball. We're the majority. So if we're the majority that have had childhood trauma, then there's got to be some reason and some good to come out of that shiitake. And that's what my mission's about. I didn't write 8 Ways to Happiness from Wherever You Are because I'm a psychologist telling you how to be happy. I wrote that book because I was unhappy. I was the same person I just yelled at for dragging my past, which I didn't deserve to be beaten. I didn't deserve to be called fat and ugly and clumsy as a child. I didn't deserve, I was a kid. I didn't do anything to deserve that, but it happened. But if I choose to believe that voice instead of the internal voice that I know to be true, which is I am a one-of-a-kind, wonderful, 88% perfect, phenomenal, not all, 12% of the time I step in it, but most of the time, I am pretty cool. I'm not a piece of shiitake. I'm also not, holier than thou, walk on water, fabulous, but I'm just 88% fabulous. That's our birthright. Every single one on the planet, all 7.3 billion of us, have a birthright to happiness. We are supposed to be happy most of the time in life, but we forgot that. We've forgotten that because we listened to other voices that told us, you got to go to a good school, you got to get the best grades, Now, I'm not knocking best grades. My daughters are going to call right now and say, Mom, can you tell us if I get grades off? Who told us that we had to pick a major when we're still a minor in life, that we have no clue. Get good at it. Make sure you put your time in, jack of all, master of none. Get good at something that you probably won't like after at least 20 years because it gets old. We're not supposed to be good at one thing and that's it for the rest of our lives. And then pick a person to marry, stay with them, even though they make you miserable, you make them miserable, have 2.6 children who, go and have their own life and maybe get addicted or have an illness. And then your parents are getting ill. And then the market goes to tank in 2008. And then someone made off with your millions. I had a guest who, Janine Roth, who actually Bernie Madoff took 10 million of her dollars. So you lose the money, your mortgage goes upside down. We're not happy because we bought into the American dream, which is more like an American nightmare, that all of those things would make us happy. And as we've seen with Anthony Bourdain and Kate Spade, the tragic truth, Robin Williams, I could go on, the list is so long. They had everything we thought gave you happiness and still could not handle life. Okay, so take a breath, in through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose. And just releasing all the stories and the drama from all of that upbringing, from all of that. And one last deep breath in. Connect with me through Chi eternal energy, the breath of life. And just be still for a second. And just think right now where I'm sitting. I have a seat. I have ears to listen. I have a mind to think. I most likely have food in the fridge. I did wake up in a bed that probably had a roof over my head. I have a smartphone, although sometimes it frustrates me. I have people around me who care about me, different levels of care. I have people that I care about, different levels of care. I have skills in some things, not everything. I have had compliments in my life. Maybe not from people that I wanted, but I've had compliments. Sometimes I can actually laugh at myself or what's going on. You know what? Yeah, I am a little happy. And guess what? If I wake up and take a bite of Dr. Marissa's gratitude sandwich and beef up my ability to see good and beef up my ability to appreciate people, places, things around me and listen to her show that highlights what's good about the world instead of all the horrific things that are happening, and then go to bed at night with the bottom of the bun, which is 8 things that I appreciate about myself, exercising self-love. I did come back to the original answer, self-love being the number one reason. Guess what? I am happy. I can be happy 88% of the time because I choose to be happy. I choose to focus, which is our most powerful tool in life, to look for things that are good. There's so much good around. When I took the breath with you, did I take your breath? Is there a shortage of breath now? Everybody around the world breathes. Did we suck out all the breath and are, going to collapse like the Avengers? No.
Oh man, all right, I got it, because I can tell you will just go on. I had like 50 million thoughts coming through when you were just sharing and just dropping so much knowledge, and I'm definitely gonna let you just do that. But one thing that just keeps coming out to me, and I know you were you a professor at UCLA?
I was.
Okay. I just, this last week was working with their Anderson School of Management.
That's where I was teaching.
Okay. Yeah. So I was just working with 2 days with the students out there. And I had a communication station working with this company, Odyssey Teams, out of Chico, doing amazing work. And I started out with, if I could give you one gift, and the gift could be $1 billion, it could be anything in the world. The gift I would choose to give you would be the gift of self-awareness. And I keep coming back to everything that you're talking about. If we can just tap into that space and just breathe through the things that we're learning to be aware of, like you just had us do. And it was amazing because oh, she's talking to me. So I don't know if my posture got wrapped up in that, but I was taking those breaths and my shoulders were dropping down and I was slowing down my thoughts. And it was amazing, just that little session that you put us through. But yeah, if we could somehow tap into that, and I guess that's my question that I'd want to ask you, and you probably already gave me the answer with the power of the breath. But if you run across one of your clients or someone that just isn't able to be self-aware for one reason or another, some of those C-suite maybe professionals that you work with, how do you help somebody develop that?
So there's an African American saying that I love. It's if there is no enemy within, then nothing outside can hurt me. Mm. That's a mic dropper.
It is.
So when I work with people who are not self-aware, it's usually because they don't like themselves. Because if they became truly aware of who they are in their minds, everybody has a giant black hole in front of them that they're afraid that if they go down there, they're going to be like Humpty Dumpty and they're going to break into a million parts and they're never going to come back. So purposeful or justifiable ignorance is usually because they are afraid of really knowing who they are, because deep down, they have buried a memory or something that happened or a message to them that made them feel like they were going to die. And so what do we do with that? We shove it down. We say, past happened, can't change it, pull yourself up by the bootstraps. And that's the best way to deal with past pain. But I would say to be honest, I don't think I've met one person who this has not been true of, not one person. All of my executives, I used to do T groups. Those of you who are old enough, I'm ageless, by the way, but they're encounter groups where I took executives with UCLA, the business school. Actually, it was the engineering and management school. And we went up to Ojai. And these are super successful people. And they had reached somewhat of what I call a midlife opportunity, not a midlife crisis, but a midlife opportunity. So executives who were very successful and all of a sudden they don't know why they can't stop crying, or very successful and don't know why now they can't control their temper. Very successful, but all of a sudden are very unhappy. And every single one had something, and I would say a good 40% of them had some kind of sexual molestation happen when they were younger. I had one that I'll never forget who walked in on his father shooting himself in the head when he was 7 years old. And that wasn't the worst part. The worst part was he was not allowed to talk about it. To that day, when he's in his 50s, he had not talked about it. So this is, be compassionate. If first of all, you have to care You have to want something different. If you are so self-unaware and you're, sort of clomping your way, and when this is a great way to know if you're not really in tune with yourself. If you're walking down the corridor and people are ducking into the bathroom to avoid you, pretty much is a clue that there's something that you are not aware of that is getting in your way. There's a great Joe Hari. So Joe Hari's window is a model that I teach in grad school. I love it. And it sounds like a Sanskrit name. It's actually Joe Luft and Harry Ingram who came up with this model. But it says that there's always things about us that we are aware of and you are aware of. And then there are things that I'm aware of, but you're not aware of. That's our hidden part. And then there's things that you know about me that I know because I'm open with you about it. And there's things that you know about me that I'm not aware of because I'm not aware of how I'm impacting you. So here's a ticket. Why would you want self-awareness? Self-awareness is tied to improvement. And I'm saying this on purpose because high achievers want to improve. So if you really want to improve, you have to start with awareness. So there's your commercial. Do you want to improve? Of course I want to improve. Okay, starts with self-awareness. Do you know how you impact others? Oh yeah, I am kind and caring. Wait. That's how you want to be. How are you really perceived? Do you want to know that? Of course I want to know that. Okay, then I'm going to go collect some data. And there come the 360-degree feedback loops. So awareness is important, but I gotta interject a little bit of Dr. Marissa, put the moose on the table right here. Now, I originally was born in Canada, so I say put the moose on the table because it's my Canadian version of talking about the elephant in the room. So we talk about awareness all the time. We have to change starts with awareness, change starts with awareness, change starts with awareness. And we've gotten to the point where we just get stuck at awareness. It's not enough to be aware. If you're aware that you can be a dick on many occasions and people give you that feedback, awareness is not enough. You have to say, okay, I'm aware of that and I think it's working for me, but you're telling me it's not working for me. So what's in it for me? Well, if you want a better scope of connection, so you can connect with this group of people in your dickheadedness because of your position in the company or because of your expertise, you can be a dick. That's a technical word, by the way. And you can continue your dickheadedness. And that's the breadth of your influence. If you want to widen your influence on people, then you might want to learn some non-dickheadedness behavior.
Oh man. I just thought there's just so much and I don't want to get wrapped up. My wife gets so upset with me because I start talking too much, but I'm sure you're familiar with the book and I got to just give it a plug. It's an older book in 2014. I believe it was written, The Body Keeps Score by Bessel van der Kolk. He's an MD and it's all about trauma and just how so many of us are carrying things that we're not aware of and causing us to act in the way that you just described. And creating a space, it just goes back into connection, one of the key words from your quote that you talked about, and realizing that our body just yearns for that. And that's how we've evolved. And I see you got something. So you go, my wife will be happy with me. I'm going to be quiet. Dr. Marissa, drop the knowledge.
I just happened to, I meant to just show the lines on the page because they're exercises. The book is chock full with exercises so that you can heal with the book. You can heal with the processes that are in the tools that I used on myself. And I have to say, I am 88% happy. I'm a living proof that this stuff works. And I just accidentally, #accidentally, not accidentally, stop at the tool, balance tool, feel it fully. So trauma is an interesting thing. This to loop back to the people that I was working with at UCLA. Whatever you don't deal with will come back and deal with you. So there's usually two ways to deal with trauma. One is to go to therapy for 20 years and continue to relive the trauma every single time you go, let things trigger you, and you're always in the pain. You never get well because you keep picking at the stupid scab and it keeps bleeding every time, every time, every time, every time. That's not happiness making. It's not helpful. I'm sorry to my colleagues, but 10 years of therapy is 9 years too long. Okay. We don't want to do that. That's called marinating in your pain. You're not that person anymore, but it's part of your identity. And those people that we know who your dog, not neither of you, I can tell, but there are people who continue to play that broken record of why I can't be successful because what happened to me. And so there's a lot of tough love in that book about that. The other extreme, which is the high achievers, the leaders, all of that, who shove it down. When you shove down pain, when you push down garbage, think of a garbage disposal truck that has that arm, it presses it down. What happens when you press down garbage? It turns into liquid. What happens when you press a liquid down? It turns into gas. People are walking around with gas leaking from past trauma. Now, and tying back to the awareness, everybody else can smell it. You can't even smell your own gas. Right? So you know who you are. If you're listening right now, denial only works so far. If you're 50, 60 years old and you are unhappy, I would say chances are it's because you have not felt fully what the trauma was. I'm not asking you to write letters or confront the person who did something to you. I have some clients, they took their knowledge and their trauma and have changed legislation to help people who so they won't be molested in the church anymore. I have clients who, have taken their trauma and started nonprofits to help other people who go through that trauma. There's beautiful ways to take your hurt and your pain and transmute it into ways to help other people. But first and foremost, you could do it through this book. You just go to a quiet place and you really deal with, work with me, work with a best friend, work with a therapist. Just feel that fully in a way that you can process. You have to cry. There's no not crying. If you're not crying, something's wrong. Tears are the disinfectant that keep our hearts soft. Please cry. Please allow your heart to soften, to understand that you can soothe yourself, that you can say, it's not your fault, baby. It really was not your fault. And I'm sorry that happened. And I wish it hadn't happened. But guess what? This made you into the magnificent person that you are. I have to tell this story because I think I'm running out of time. There's two rocks in a store. One's on the left, one's on the right. The left rock, no one goes to see. The right rock, people flock over and stand and just adore the rock. Oh my God, look at the angles. Look at the way the sun's coming through. It's like a prism. They're so beautiful. 8 years go by. The rock on the left is pissed off, jumps off its little stand, shakes his hand and says, life, you are not fair. 8 years I've had to listen to this bullshit talking of this, the praise for the rock over there. That's so beautiful. And no one comes up to me and says anything nice. Life, you are not fair. Life comes down, clouds open, sun shines in, puts his arm around the left rock and says, darling, I love you. But every time I come to you and start chiseling, you say, no, it hurts. Don't touch me. I don't want it. It hurts. Can't do anything. Pain in life is mandatory. Suffering is optional. It's not what happened to you. It's what happened for you. You have chiseling in every aspect of pain that you've had in your life. And if you can embrace that, and if you can just change the regret and the shame and the blame to appreciation and understanding and empathy and self-love and self-approval, you will have a happy life for the rest of your life. And I got to tell you, there is no do-over. You can say, nah, I'm still going to do it my way. Fine. You want to spend another 10 years pissed off, unhappy, blaming other people? Go ahead. If you want to say, you know what, the buck stops right over here. I'm tired of being tired. I'm tired of blaming other people. I'm tired of complaining. By the way, 21-day fast from complaining with Dr. Marissa, for those who really want to speed up their ability to appreciate life. That's what you can do. You can choose. I can say what I say. You don't have to believe me. You don't have to do anything you want to, but then don't complain. You choose. You choose. Einstein says the most important question that a human being has to answer is, are you ready? You ready? You can write this one down. Mm-hmm. Is the universe friendly or not? That's what Einstein said. Is the universe friendly or not? Most important question a human being has to answer. If you say, of course it's not friendly. God, Dr. Marissa, did you wake up this morning? Look at what's going on. 9/11, 20 years, Afghanistan, Biden, Trump, Orange Cheeto, all the crazy, the climate change, and we're losing this, and it's just horrible here, and angry and attacking, and the universe is not friendly, and the pandemic, how can you say the universe is friendly? If you choose to say the universe is unfriendly and you have all the data for it, I'll give that to you. You will guarantee yourself a life of holding your breath, waiting for the other shoe to drop, afraid that someone else is going to take from you. You're going to get your heart broken again. Hello. I work with people who had their heart broken when they were 16. So they're going to condemn themselves for the next 50 years from having any kind of a loving relationship because of that one person that happened at one time when they were 16. That doesn't sound very smart to you, does it? Sorry, that was an aside. So that's your life. You can choose with reason, unfriendly universe, unhappy life, quickest way. Or I believe that we live in a friendly universe. How do I know that? Because I woke up this morning and the planets did not crash up into each other. Every grain of sand outside my window is unlike the other. Every blade of grass, every leaf on the tree, every water droplet in the ocean of abundance, every breath, everything is magnificently creative. That's why we're here. We're here to explore and create and expand and grow. We're not here to fit ourselves into a box. We're not here to fit other people into a box. We're not here to live by anybody else's definition of success. We got to be good here, baby. Am I 88% good here? And you are. You are. I can tell you both are.
Yes, I love it. And
yeah.
We are. Yeah. And I know.
How can you tell?
Because you're laughing at my jokes. My husband told me every single day that I was not funny. So the best part of divorce is owning my funniness.
Yeah. Yes. Congratulations on that. And I really am enjoying this and appreciating your personality and your jokes and your knowledge. And I know we're just scratching the surface, but I want to be mindful of your time. And so I want to know, what is the best thing that you do for yourself? Obviously, you have a lot going on in your life, but at the end of the day, what is the best thing you do for self-care, for Dr. Marissa?
Candy Crush.
Okay, explain it then. And I hear you.
Candy Crush. Yeah, I play Candy Crush. I use Candy Crush and Mahjong and puzzles to soothe.
Okay.
So if there's things I like, 88% of the things that I have to do, I love doing. That's a gift. That's a total gift. I have created a life where 8% of the things I have to do, I love. 12% of it, I don't like to do. So what do? I negotiate with myself. If I do this and finish this, I don't want to do, then I get to play a mahjong game, a jigsaw puzzle. And it's not like for a long time, but it's a break. And I create things in my life. I race sailboats. I have just a palm of people in my hand that I am super close to, because if I try to have more than that, I get too stretched and then I start dropping things. So relationships take time to cultivate. So I don't need any more than this. Okay. So I recognize my time limitations, even though it's an expansive world right now in life, there's just 24 hours in the day. So I treat myself kindly. That's what I do for myself. I ask myself, what's the best feeling thought I could have right now? Well, I can't believe that, they want to take that away from me, or that's not going to work, or they said this. Now, hold on. Is that the best feeling thought that I could have? Yeah, but it's true. It's happening right now. You're going to have to deal with it. No, I don't have to deal with it right now. Neglect sometimes is the best way to deal with it. What's the best thing I can do for myself? I can just play. I can play right now. I can play. 5 minutes is not going to make or break what I'm doing. I already hit the deadline for this. Let me give myself 5 minutes right now. That's it. 5 minutes. And then I'll sit down and do something else. We are the boss of me. I am the boss of me. Yeah, but you got dirty dishes in the sink. Yeah, and no one's coming over today. And I figured out a way, and this is just recent. I love the feeling of a clean kitchen. It feels really good. I take a moment after I have emptied the dishwasher to just stand there and go, this feels so good. I do that when I fill up my tank of gas. It feels so good. When I wash my car, it feels, look at how beautiful that is. The little tiny things. I am so high on my life. Like I'm all over. I love my life. That's my new hashtag. I love my life. It sounds egotistical, but I don't really care because I love my life. I don't give a flying fork through a rolling donut what you think. That is also a way to be very happy because you're not constantly looking for approval. That's in the book. It's called Baking Your Own Cake.
Yeah, Pasha, I just wanted to tell you, I think we're in trouble. I think I saw Dr. Marissa touch one of those puzzle pieces while you were talking. So I don't know how to take that.
Basho, I haven't said a word. I've got 4 pages of notes. Dr. Marissa just been getting down. And so Dr. Marissa, just have one last question. I had so many things. Don't answer any of these. The 3 C's of more joy and less stress at work. Obviously, your 8 ways to happiness, your work-life balance, teamwork, the 21-day fast that you did give a quick shot out. We didn't get into your children's book that you wrote with your daughters, which is so cool. We didn't get into the new PPP, post-pandemic possibilities. Yes, I love that. But I am going to ask you, you are still a young lady. and you've lived a full life. So let's fast forward, let's say 40 years from now, and you're not aware of this, but my profession was 29 years as a registered nurse. And so I've been surrounded by death in my life. And I'm not trying to get morbid with this question, but death is such a great tool for us to use to do everything that you've been describing, because then you get to feel every moment, which again, you just highlighted so well. So John Alston has an amazing quote that I love. The only thing you take with you when you're gone is what you leave behind. What is it that you want the 5 people that you said that are in your life that you can handle? What is it that you want them? Let's paint even a better picture. You're at home. You're getting ready to take your last breath. They're all surrounding you. What is it you want them to feel by the interactions that they've had throughout their life with you?
That my life has been blessed because I have known you.
I love it. And so simple and so true. And I can already see that is how you live your life. And it comes out of every pore that you have. That you are living. And Mike and I thank you so much for coming on the show. First of all, thank you for all the work that you're doing to bring happiness into the world. All the students that you've helped at UCLA and everywhere else, and all the people that you serve through your radio show. And for giving us time so generously to come on to Life's Essential Ingredients. With that said, is there anything that you feel like you would love to share as we head out? Otherwise, that will be a wrap.
Well, of course, I would love to have everyone just continue to be part of my Happy 88 tribe, and you to just pop your email in my drmarissa.life and you'll get a free happy tip sheet. For your listeners, if you do get an audio book of 8 Ways to Happiness, I will throw in a free children's book, Mommy, What Are Feelings? And that's just for you guys. So if you put in a subject line, essential, then I'll know that you're getting 2 for the price of 1. I would love you to shop on Amazon Smile. I know you're a nonprofit. And if you don't already have Essential as your nonprofit, 8 Ways to Happiness is my 501c, and it helps kids, teens, and young adults who have temporarily forgotten about their birthright to happiness. So I would love you to shop using that link. And then Amazon gives me a tiny little bit if you want to just donate and get stuff. Whenever you donate to my nonprofit, you get stuff. So you get a book, you get the film. I do want you to go to YouTube, PPP, just put Dr. Marissa and PPP, my first short film. It's doing the film festival circuit now, although I've been told by a filmmaker that they probably won't know what to do with it because it's not a traditional film. It is inspirational. He says that it's like a vitamin B12 shot for hope and happiness. So please watch that. Please give comments. Please use it. I released it free, so you can use it, career days for your organization, bring me to talk about it. That would be great. By the way, I have to correct you. It's not 8 million anymore because I was already at 6.8 million people before COVID, hashtag BC19, the time before COVID, because I had done work in China on tour, as well as I was on the #1 news station in the Philippines. So I was already up to 6.8. So I couldn't have that. And I was only 1 year in. So it's now 88 million.
Wow.
Yes. And we're at 18 million. So I still have 7 more years for the rest, and we're good. But money energy is always appreciated because I want to expand my platform. I do believe that there are a lot of people who are choosing unhappiness that do not have to. Mm-hmm. Oh, 21 Days Fast from Complaining. If you donate $21 to my nonprofit, if you do 21 consecutive days without complaining, I double your money. Mm. So it's an interesting thing. I think the two of you should do it with each other.
I love it. And I'm gonna take a picture of this. I'm gonna send it to you. To my left, which you're not gonna be able to see, Mike and I both went to University of San Francisco, and there was a student back, I believe in the 60s, that suffered polio and was there. And it says, "Can you go one day without complaining?" And the person that wrote, and it's a challenge, this gentleman, Hal Urban, and Mike, that's Mark Urban's dad. You'll know who I'm talking about. And he had this challenge to his students, and it was throughout the whole year. And there was only one student, I think, that passed it in like 30 years. So I love your 21-day challenge, and Mike and I will definitely check that out. We thank you again for coming on our show. Listeners, it's been a good one. It's been a good one. And definitely, again, check out Dr. Marissa at drmarissa.life. So many good resources on her website. And thanks again for tuning in. Pasho, you got anything to get us out?
Dr. Marissa, thank you. That was informative. It was entertaining. It was wonderful. And man, we really appreciate you coming on. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. I'm going to make you do something. This will be the promo before your show comes out. This is what I do at the end of every show. It's called Peace In, Peace Out, World Peace, Through Inner Peace. This is Dr. Marissa reporting live. I was just a guest on Essential Ingredients.
Essential Ingredients. That's our best friends. You already forgot our show, but that's all right. We got love for you. How do we? It's all good. You got so much going on. Thank you so much. Listeners, thank you for tuning in again. Pashito, you know how we do it, baby. Boom. That just happened. We're out.